Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. That quote is from Albert Einstein, and it is so profound and can translate into real life and apply it to anything, any aspect of life. And when it comes to this channel, we always talk about creating a dream life. And then when we reflect on that quote, that speaks volumes. And when it comes to manifesting and reaching your goals and creating your ideal reality, you do have to change aspects of yourself. If you want to reach new levels and create your dream life, if you keep doing the same thing over and over, what you're doing now, if you keep doing what you have now, you will vibrate in the same frequency of the reality that you're currently in. So if you keep doing what you're doing now and you're expecting to obtain your dream life, then that's insanity, according to Albert Einstein's quote. And it makes sense. Let's use like fitness, like I always do, as an example. If you're trying to get stronger or bench, let's say bench, you're trying to bench 225, right? And you don't change anything about yourself. Let's say you don't change your gym routine. You only go twice a week, and you're not intentional with your diet. You keep eating the same thing, and you go in tomorrow and try to go for the 225 bench, and you can't get it up. Then what do you expect? You didn't change anything. You kept doing the same thing. Instead of trying to wish and want something in order to obtain it, you got to change something. You got to change your actions. You got to change your thoughts. You got to change your habits, your approach. So if you want to reach that goal, you got to come with a different approach. So instead of 2 times a week, let's scale it up to five times a week. And instead of 30-minute sessions of cardio, incorporate weightlifting, strength training, and do a lot more chest exercises frequently. And then as you do that and stay consistent for however long, you'll tend to see results, and you'll start to realize, man, I'm getting closer to benching 225. And it's because you didn't stick to what you're currently doing. You changed it. You changed your approach. And it's the same thing with anything else in life. Insanity is where if you keep doing the same thing over and over and expect different results, that's what insanity is. So if you're trying to reach any goal like finance, let's use finance as an example. If you're trying to reach financial freedom, but if you aren't intentional with what you spend and you keep accumulating debt and you don't change anything about that, what do you expect? You will never reach financial freedom if you don't look at your daily habits. It's all within the daily routines of what you do. Everything that where you are in life right now is a net result of your thoughts and actions from the past. You are where you are because of what you did in the past, and you will continue to stay somewhere, especially if you've been somewhere for a while. You will continue to stay there if you continue to maintain the same actions and thoughts. Now, if you want to shatter that matrix that you're living in, and you want to shatter your illusion of reality of staying in a certain vibration, you got to change. You got to change what you're doing. If you're tired of being unhealthy, you got to make the change. You got to start changing what you eat, your activity of exercise. You got to jog more, go to the gym. If you want to reach a certain level, and you want to create a dream, you got to see what it takes, right? There's always a model out there, a person who's either 5-10 steps closer towards that goal, or who already has something that you want. And what you need to do is, if you want to create and you're serious about this dream, you got to start talking to those people, picking their brain, see what their daily routines are, see what they did, what kind of books they read, what kind of opportunities they got into, what kind of resources they have, how they talk, what they do. You gotta start mimicking that. You gotta start talking to them. Maybe even consider making them a mentor. See, I had mentors. See, when I changed my reality, my life only changed when I changed my thoughts, you know? I didn't know about financial independence and financial freedom until I started talking to individuals who were living like that already. And, you know, I drank the Kool-Aid of societal expectations of getting a job, white picket fence, starting a family, nice car, and having a job, you know? But I broke out of that. I was always conditioned to only think of having one source of income as a job. I wasn't aware that you really don't have to work if you create if you have multiple streams of passive income, where you make money work for you, where you make money while you sleep 24/7, 7 days of the week. And the awesome part is you can do that infinitely. You can have 3 sources of passive income. You can have 5, you can have 10, you can have 20. And the more you make it automated, a system, passive, the more you'll have free time to do whatever you want. And that's one of the ways I changed my reality, was instead of doing the same thing over and over and not changing my thoughts, I stayed for so long. I felt like I wasn't really living a fulfilled life until I started reading books, talking to certain individuals who challenged my mindset, my way of thinking, my ideologies, my approach financially, physically. I had mentors who showed me the way. And you know, when it comes to working out, I didn't know you can attack the same muscle in different angles and do 4 different types of workouts. And I didn't know about drop sets, supersets, consuming a certain amount of protein, rest day, so much things that I was not aware of. And if I was not curious and willing to take the risk and stepping out of my comfort zone to break out of my daily routine of doing the same thing over, then I wouldn't be where I am now. And that's why I really appreciate that quote. And I wanted to elaborate on my perspective on that Albert Einstein quote. That quote is, if you if a lot of individuals elaborate on it, it really is a lot of exposure if they truly self-reflect. I feel like most people aren't living their dreams or not even attempting because they just forfeited. They just settled. They're comfortable and they don't want to step out of their comfort zone. So they're going to continue to do the same thing over and over. Like clocking in, going to work for 40 hours a week, just doing what the boss tells them, or indulging in self-gratification and instant gratification. That's a big source of why people aren't hitting their potential. And everything's so convenient now in this modern day. Everything's so accessible, so easy, and there's no discipline, there's no patience, there's no because it's already alleviated through, let's say, like apps, social media, TikTok. You get that instant gratification, pornography. As soon as you get off of work, you can just go to the restaurants and eat, indulge in good food. When it really is a never-ending cycle of a trap that keeps you where you are now. Once you break out of that, educate yourself with certain books, information that will free you from that lifestyle and introduce you to a more empowering, fulfilling lifestyle. And that's where you got to change your daily routine, how you think, and that's how you create your dream life. And in conclusion, how do you do that? Have goals. Whatever you have, whatever life you're in now and you want to change it. Say, oh, I'm working and I'm only making $40K a year. And to live my dream life, I'm gonna have to make more money. Let's go for 80K. Write that down as a goal. Or if I'm done working 40 hours a week and I want to make it through business or investing, write that down as a goal. You don't need to absolutely have the answers now. But once you write the goal and you truly want it and you reflect on it every day, reaffirm it every day, if you absolutely truly want it and you're serious about it, it's going to reveal to you through time. You'll meet certain individuals. You'll stumble across a book. You'll see a YouTube video about it. You just gotta really want that goal exclusively and absolutely. You can't want that as much as other things. That has to be very serious at the top. And that could be with anything. Relationships, if you want a certain girl, right down to specific features, what type of girl, or how much money. Let's say 80K a year, 10K a month, whatever, man. It's the world is yours. Or any type of physique. You want to be 20% body fat. You want to add 10 to 15% more pure muscle. That is entirely up to you. But the difference is you gotta write it down. Because once you write it down, it isn't just a fantasy. It isn't just a dream. It's a plan now, because it's written down. And once it's a plan, you can break it down. And you'll be thinking about it often when you look at it every day. And like I said, God will align you with that goal. Things will just happen. Resources will just come at the right time. Individuals, mentors will come at the right time. Opportunities will come. And you won't even really know it, you know? You really don't know it. Because you can only look at connecting the dots backwards to see where you are now, rather than connecting the dots forward. You can't know, but years from now you'll be like, oh dang. When you reach your goal, you're gonna be like, damn, I didn't know I had to meet this individual. I didn't know I had to go through that struggle to character develop myself to want to chase a certain goal. It's a lot of it is going to be unforeseen at the moment, but as long as you want it with all your mind and all your heart, you're going to achieve that goal regardless. But yeah, when it comes to creating your dream life, you got to change your actions, change your thoughts. But yeah, hopefully this motivated you. It's Easter. Happy Easter. He has risen. And comment, leave a subscribe, share, help me get in the algo. And I will see you in the next video. Deuce.